like many professional and managerial disciplines, the art and science of negotiation is filled with acronyms. So in this video, I want to look at a number of important negotiation acronyms and tell you what they mean. Let's start with the pre-negotiation stage of a commercial procurement. For a start, we've got RFI, RFQ and RFP. And these stand for RFI, Request for Information. If you want to buy something, the first thing you need is some information from the provider. So you make an RFI, a Request for Information. Then there's RFQ. If what you need to buy is based on some form of price list or some form of easy to provide financial terms, then an RFQ is a request for quotation. Tell us how much it will cost, tell us the terms and conditions. If, however, you need to be competitive and you need to learn more about the supplier, more about what they can supply and the way they will supply it and their approach, then you might put out an RFP, a request for proposal. And an alternative name for an RFP is an ITT, an invitation to tender. And the only real difference between a proposal process and a tender process is that often a tender process carries with it a whole degree more formality and rule following. Government departments often use tender processes because they need to account for every penny that the government spends, and they need to be accountable for the way they make their choices. Before any negotiation takes place, you need to think about your negotiating position, and there are a whole load of acronyms that refer to this stage of the negotiating process. If all goes well, you'll achieve your MDO, your most desired outcome. Or perhaps you will refer to it as your BPA, your best possible agreement. If things don't go so well, but you are able to reach agreement, then you may have to make do with your LPA, your least possible agreement. And sitting between your least possible agreement and your best possible agreement is your ZOPA, your ZOPA, your zone of possible agreement, or your zone of potential agreement. But if you're to negotiate effectively, you do need to know the point at which you're going to walk away. Your BATNA, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. During the negotiation, you're going to need to do some analysis and you're going to need to make a decision. Two common analysis tools are SWOT analysis and Moscow analysis. SWOT analysis takes the terms you're being offered and assesses the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities they offer, and the threats they present. And in thinking about the terms that you may or may not want to have in your agreement, you might use Moscow analysis, which stands for the things that you must have, the things that you should have, the things that you could have, and the things that you would have if you could, but you can't, so you won't have the things you're prepared to abandon easily. And when you've done your analysis and you're ready to make a decision, your approach to decision making may be through CDM, consensus decision making. When it's time to make a decision, what's the position? Well, you may have MEEP, MEEP, multiple economically equivalent proposals, or you may have MEEO, multiple economically equivalent offers. But one thing's for sure, you shouldn't commit to a transaction until you receive the BAFO, the best and final offer from your counterparty. After the negotiation, you need to create your ROU, your record of understanding, to document where you got to in the negotiation. And if the negotiation results in the two parties working together, you might form a JV, a joint venture. If you know of other important negotiating acronyms that I've failed to include in this video, please do add them to the comments below. I love to learn about them. And if I kick myself because I should have included them, then all the better for you to remind me. And what I'll do is I will collect all the best comments and pin them to the top with credit to the people who suggest them. So, lots of great acronyms, and if you want a cheat sheet to make sure you've got them, then I'll put a link below to where you can download them in the description. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give us a thumbs up. I'll be making loads more great management courses videos, so please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and in the meantime, keep learning.